feel like the birds are really loud. Hey J-Man, how are you? Hey Mr. Lou, I know it's a weird time of day for me to be live, but I thought I had a bit of a moment. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do and was a little stumped. So I'm like, let me just go live and chat with everybody. Oh, Peace Bricks, thank you so much. Can you hear the birds? I have all the windows open too, but it's like that temperature where it's too stuffy, but it's not um, warm enough yet for air conditioning. Anyway, I'm rambling. I was gonna maybe talk Andor season 2 finale, but maybe in general terms, so in case people haven't seen it, and it did only drop last night, and I hate spoiling things. Although in general, I would say this show is a little bit spoiler proof in terms of big themes because if you kind of know who's in Rogue One and who isn't, but I was still surprised by a few things that happened in the finale. So live chat, there we go. Oh, J-Man, you worked on your Wolverine bone claws. That's really cool. Hi, Z. I think it's okay if we talk spoilers, maybe a little bit, maybe nothing too crazy. I'm trying to think what would be spoilery. I guess, what happens to everybody. I saw that the Ironheart trailer was released. I haven't watched it yet. I was just trying to get through like a bunch of things this morning. Is it good? I like Ruby Williams. She's like a car girl, so I like that about her. So, oh Robbie, you're so sweet. Is it epic? That's next. It's next month in June. And I also know today there was the new Superman trailer as well. Hi, Mr. Troll, Michigan Troll TV. Yeah, it's just been a lot in a good way, like a lot of different events and being out in the evening. So I'm like behind on life stuff and trying to get some videos out. So it was good to kind of get a morning of just like getting through some things. So, yeah, no character spoilers. I'll just give you some of my thoughts about in general about the series. I'm with everyone that thought it was incredible. The scope, the storytelling, it was really good. It was really nice to really spend some time with the characters, and that was almost more important than what they were doing. With the themes, getting inside everyone's head, and I thought that was really refreshing and interesting and cool for Star Wars. I'm kind of just a little stunned that it's over and we're not going to get any more. Although I'm also encouraged that there are possibilities for other things with certain characters. Um, I so I have this feeling of kind of sadness that it's over. I think I would have made some different choices, but I also think that wanting more is a good complaint. At the Q&A I was at last night, Tony Gilroy, he took some questions from the audience, and one person had a question about like some characters we saw in season 1 that hadn't shown up yet in season 2, and very mild spoiler, don't. And he said something that really stuck with me is that a lot of everyone in life, you have unresolved things. You have people that you don't have a relationship with tied up with a nice bow. You have all unresolved stuff. We all have unresolved things. So it felt right and realistic to leave things dangling and not like wrap everything up with a tiny little bow. And I thought that was really good, And maybe the spoiler, but like with Keno Loy, he's like specifically from season 1. He said, "How is his ending going to be any better than that? Than I can't swim. You're not gonna get any better last moment than that. So why bring him back?" I thought that was really cool. Um, no, it's just the windows outside. There's trees right by my window, so that's what the birds are. I would never have a bird as a pet. I feel like birds should be able to fly. That's like their one thing that they do is fly. And if he has a bird in a cage and they don't get to do that, and I would be like, that's not okay. But that's just me. So, any plans to cosplay any of the DC movies? I do. I have Wonder Woman from the first Wonder Woman movie. Um, it nothing has really caught my eye. There, but we'll see now that James Gunn and there's a new DC coming. I'm excited to see the new movies. I'm excited to see the new Superman. I like the Superman look in the Flash. I thought that was a really cool look. So, but you'll never know. Cosplay any characters from Thunderbolts. I've been asked this before. I really like Ghost's look from Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's funny, I think the Thunderbolts looks intentionally are very kind of not so flashy. A lot of black, a lot of matte, leather jackets, not really standout superhero costumes as we know them. And I think that's completely intentional. It makes a lot of sense for the characters. But that said, they don't sort of draw your eye as something that you'd want to wear. They look fantastic, right? But like of all Yelena's looks in Hawkeye and Black Widow and Thunderbolts, her looks in Thunderbolts wouldn't be the ones I would pick. I'd pick some of the others. Same with Ghost. I would pick from Ant-Man and the Wasp. So no plans, but I thought the costume design nailed it. I thought it was perfectly done. I think the whole point was it to not be a big costume kind of movie. Does that make sense? So I just want to make it clear by saying no plans to do Thunderbolts. I love the movie. I think the costume choices were perfect. I just don't think they're for me. So, oh, this is a sweet question. Thank you, Lois Lane. Wow, that's a nice. It's Rachel Brosnahan in the new movie, and I love her. Um, uh, Firecracker asked, "Do you ever think of getting another cat?" We have talked about it. I do miss having a cat. I think our cat Neville was one in a million, and it's hard to think about getting another one. But also we've had just like a bunch of travel, kind of not nonstop, but we've always known something was coming up, and so there hasn't been like a long stretch where we're at home where we can really feel like we can welcome a new cat into our home and make sure that they're acclimated and comfortable. So if we needed to bring in a cat sitter, it wouldn't be like a bunch of new things for the cat all at once. So I think that's the reason why we haven't yet. We just had a little bit too much travel. I was talking to my friend Dimitri Beauchamp at the event last night. He's the same thing. He wants to get a pet. He just moved to Los Angeles, but he's like, I'm just not home. Like I can't, and he travels way more than me. So that's the reason we haven't. So I'd love if a cat just like showed up at my door, or like I'm coming back to my car and there's a cat just like sitting by my car, like you know me in or what, you know. But I think it'll happen when it's the right time. Right, cats don't choose me. Like if a cat came and chose me, I'd be so excited. Like, yeah, come on in, man, make yourself at home. Uh, no, I'm not gonna cut off my hair. I don't think I'd be very good at it. Do you have any advice for starting Star Wars cosplay? It just depends on the cosplay you want. I love when people ask me for cosplay advice, but it's a really hard question to answer because so many cosplays are different, whether you're sewing or what kind of, are you going to be painting and 3D printing? Are you going to be buying, large trash cans and cutting them up and molding them to make armor or using foam? So the best advice I always give is just do a ton of research. That's actually my favorite part. Like research, make sure you know really well what the costume you want to make looks like look at a lot of photos and do Google image searches and so forth, and then look at of the costume, and then also ask people that have done that particular costume. Like people ask me sometimes, oh, I really want to make, say, Master Chief from Halo, which is super cool, but I've never made that, so I'm like, I don't really know what to tell you except maybe ask a Master Chief cosplayer. But if someone asks me like, where did you get fabric for this costume or that costume? I'll tell you, like, I ordered this online or I got this at Joann's, rest in peace. So, um, lots of research. That goes for whatever costume you do. And then obviously use YouTube. It's a great resource for things like foam armor. Kamui Cosplay here. She lives in Belgium, I think. She has fantastic tutorials. I've learned a lot from her. So research, it's the most fun part and it's totally free. And we all do it. I saw my t-shirt. This is actually a t-shirt I got in a Star Wars Celebration Japan. I think it says Rebel in Japanese, and it's Rogue One. So there's Jin and Cassian and K2 and Krennic and Vader and Bodhi and uh, Baze and Chirrut, and there's a Walker and Scarif, and it's the Death Star. So by the time I got to the store, all the small sizes were gone, so it's a little baggy, but it's comfy. So, do you have any advice for what to use for my Mandalorian cape? If you're talking about the Mandalorian Din Djarin, I use like a wool blanket. It was like a wool blend to keep it inexpensive. I use a felted wool blanket, and I cut it in half, and it looks great. Um, you just want something with capes, want something that has a little bit of weight to it. If it's really flyaway, like think of bed sheets, that's what we call like the weight. It will look less expensive. Like capes always have some heft to them. So that's why shopping for fabric can be really difficult online because you can see a picture of it, you can kind of know the color, but you don't know the feel and the drape and the weight. But luckily with things like capes, you can use things like blankets and stuff like that sometimes can look good. But again, something you really need to make sure the texture of so it doesn't look like a blanket. It has to look like fabric. Any thought on the pacing of the last block of Andor episodes? Um, I'll say it wasn't what I expected. I loved episode 10. I thought that was fantastic. And then episodes 11 and 12, I thought there was a lot of time to maybe do more to meet, I can't remember his name. Tivik, I think, is the guy who he meets at the beginning of Rogue One. Maybe to meet that guy, maybe to see how the Rebel Alliance is faring a year since Mon Mothma's defection. Are they coming together? Is it still chaos? Oh, we got that one conference call with Saw, but I would maybe have liked to have seen more. That said, I liked what we did get to see. I loved seeing like the the game that Melchi and K2 and Cassian were all playing. I got to feel like a part of their little circle for a while. So I don't want to complain. I think every moment is great. I maybe had I been in charge, be like, well, let's get a little more story in here. Let's like see how the Rebel Alliance is doing, like structurally and operationally. Like, what are they doing right now? But again, asking for more is a good complaint. I'm gonna watch Andor season 2 today. Do you recommend it? Yes, I recommend it for sure. It's a lot. It's 12 1-hour episodes. So take your time, enjoy them. Just to severance, enjoy each equally. But I think you'll really like it. Someone else asks, what's my oldest Star Wars memory? It's definitely listening to the music. I know my parents had the soundtrack albums on vinyl, and the great thing about vinyl, with then and now, is that they would come with these big pictures, and to so you could look through like this booklet of the photos while listening to the music. Just I remember being fascinated by the pictures of the movie and while listening to the music. So I've always just loved the music, my favorite thing. Someone asked me how the Boba Fett costume is coming along. It's all the armor is done and painted and weathered. I was about to put the decals on it and then all the Velcro and the straps on it, and then I diverted to Jod and Elwood. So and then I went to Japan. So I got back and I haven't picked it up again because I am going to make Bespin Leia next, so it's on hold again. But I was making a lot of progress on it. I think that's why it actually inspired me to do Jod. Like I was working on the armor and doing 3D printing. It was turning out so great. I'm like, oh, I can make a helmet too while I'm at it. So it's coming along. So what's next? I have to make the belt, but I have all the supplies for the belt. I've ordered a bunch of things. That's all come in. I'm going to be repainting a Ruby's helmet for the helmet, and I've never done that before, so I'm really excited about that to show like what you can do. You can buy like a $30 toy helmet and then just give it a great paint job, and it can look great. Hopefully, that's the plan. So I've never done that before. I've always had like either vacuum formed kits or 3D printed a helmet. So that'll That'll be the next one. Any ideas for a next cosplay or skit? So like I said, I'm gonna do Bespin Leia next, and then gotta wrap up Boba Fett. And then for skits, I actually have some in the can that I've shot with Grogu and Chupamam. What do I have? He wants to learn to spin his lightsaber. Have I edited that one? There's one where he sees a spider in his room. Um, can't think. So I'm gonna maybe try to get some of ones I've shot out so I can maybe start like a new arc. For the costume closet, oh, I have a thing happening where I've shot pieces of, I still have to do a couple pieces where the costumes want to start creating alliances, like maybe the Star Wars costumes band up and maybe like the 80s costumes band up. I was kind of inspired by that after going to Universal Fan Fest nights. So I'm working on that one. I think I've written it, I've shot some of the parts. I've shot all the Star Wars parts because I had all those costumes on anyway. But I had to shoot the rest of those. So yeah, and I'm due to do more Women of the MCU. I have a couple I've shot that I haven't edited yet, but I need to like write a whole bunch more. So yeah, a Darksaber short. I've done a few shorts about the Darksabers I own. I have a Disney Parks one. The one was sent to me. I think it's from Damien Sabers. So I don't think kind of knew about that. Oh, but I got the toy one. That's right. That's a good idea. Um, my dream would be a canon novels to fill in the gaps of the last year of Andor, like how Val Graves, or the last tenth year of Luthen and Clea. Yeah, that's there's lots of those 1 year gap holes. There's a lot of material, even stuff they alluded to, like when Cassian and Bix are in the safe house talking about you killed that kid. There's a whole story there. So I think there's lots of cool things that I think would make great books. Oh, Kenzie, thank you so much. Hi, Primos. I didn't get to stay up late enough because by the time I got home from the event and we finished watching the other episodes of Andor, it was like 1 in the morning, so I didn't watch Rogue One right away. But I've seen Rogue One like 800 times, so I like how it tied together. I personally don't think I'm going to see that movie much differently coming right out of Andor, but I liked how it fits very neatly. I liked it a lot. Captain Corsair asks if I speak French. I don't. I mean, like some schoolboy French, like a few words, but I don't understand it at all. Um, favorite Star Wars sequel and prequel. Favorite prequel will have to be Revenge of the Sith, easy one, and favorite sequel is The Force Awakens. That's actually an easy question. Someone asked, is there a steelbook of Rogue One? I'm not sure. I bought the Blu-ray so long ago that I don't remember if it's a steelbook or not. I think it was a deluxe version. I know in general that movie is missing a lot of like deleted scenes and commentary. If you don't know that that movie went through a lot of reshoots. Like Tony Gilroy came on much later in the process. If you watch the first trailer of Rogue One, not one shot from that trailer is actually in the movie. They made a lot of changes that have all been kind of under wraps and very secret. I would be very curious to see what that first movie was. So, but sadly, none of that is on the any of the DVDs or Blu-rays. Favorite MCU movie, RDJ or Tom Hardy? Are the Venom movies MCU? I mean, technically he's in the end credit scene in No Way Home, so I guess that is my favorite Tom Hardy MCU movie because I think that's the only MCU Tom Hardy movie. And then my favorite are RDJ MCU movie. Boy, he's in a lot of my favorites, but probably Endgame. I think his performance in Endgame is his best. Um, shows the most range. But he's great. He's great in all of them. He's great in Iron Man 3. Like, so how did you decide to start to cosplay? It was I'd made Halloween costumes for a few years, and for Jeremy and myself, my husband. And then one year I did, it was the first Halloween after The Force Awakens came out, so that would have been 2015, 2016. So I wanted to make Rey because I loved The Force Awakens and I loved that character. And so when doing some research for like, oh, what should I buy? What fabric should I get? I discovered the RPF.com, which is the Replica Prop Forum. And it's this internet site that's all about people sharing their finds, how they're making their costumes, and how they're finding like real, you can actually buy the things that they used in the movie, whether it's the fabric or the footwear or the belts and the little stuff. I was just mesmerized and fascinated. I thought that was the coolest thing, of people actually finding the research of using exactly what the costume designers used. So that Halloween costume kind of became like, um, a gateway drug, as it were, to the world of cosplay. And just that whole world of sort of puzzle solving and stuff like that. So I actually have a call in a little bit, and so I'm only gonna take a few more questions, keeping this one short because I haven't been live in a while. Um, Yasindra asks, how can I do cosplay? You can just pick a character and start, you know? Some of us make our costumes, some people buy them. I do both. I mostly make my things, but there's some costumes I would find no joy in making, so I buy them. It's just fun, you know? It's like Halloween year round. Favorite Star Wars game? Ooh, that's a good one. I mean, well, I wish I played more console games. I don't. I don't have a console, so that's probably why I don't play one. But I play mobile games and I play Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes all the time. I'm big into it. It's a great mobile game. It's not it's like a strategy game, so you collect characters and they have these different abilities, and you fight player versus player, but also a lot of player versus the computer. So it's great, and really helped me fill in a lot of the gaps of my knowledge. There's some people that know absolutely everything there is to know about Star Wars, and I know a lot, but I don't know everything. So there's characters from obviously the movies and the TV shows, but also from the comics, from Knights of the Old Republic, from the EU novels, from the animated shows. And so parts of characters I didn't really know as well, I've gotten to know them better by playing as them and learning their abilities and kind of seeing what they look like and how they interact with other characters. So it's not an ad for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, but it's nice. And it's nice that you don't have to be like fast with your thumbs. You're just kind of like doing strategy and figuring out what abilities characters have, and the graphics are beautiful. And it has all the music from Star Wars. I've played some games where they don't pay to license the music, so it's like faux Disney music or it's like faux superhero music. No, this is the actual music from the movies, like John Williams' music and Leif Gorens's music from The Mandalorian. So it's great. So have I seen Thunderbolts? Yes, I've seen Thunderbolts. I loved Thunderbolts. I just loved it. I loved every second of it. It completely surprised me in a good way. I thought it was just fantastic. Really enjoyed it a lot. No plans for a Thunderbolts cosplay. Um, they just wear a lot of black and sort of subdued costumes, which aren't something that I usually gravitate towards. So even though I'm sitting here in all black in my everyday life, but I thought it was great. It was a great movie. Do you have any summer convention dates yet, like Rhode Island Comic Con or Contropolis? Not yet. I've somehow it's gotten to May and I haven't really worked that out. I definitely go to New York Comic Con every year, so that's New York Comic Con, and if there's a Star Wars celebration for sure. So New York Comic Con definitely, and yes, I need to figure out where else I'm going, but no other dates set yet. Thank you for asking. What shirt I'm wearing is this is a Rogue One shirt. I got it in Japan, so I think this says Rebel in Japanese. So just all the characters from Rogue One against the Death Star with like scarif palm trees. I just really like this one, so I got that one. Can you come to Australia? Planes go everywhere. If you have a favorite convention in Australia, have them reach out, have them invite me. It'd be amazing. Autumn asks, I'm working on a Mandalorian costume but can't figure out how to make the helmet. It did. So when you're trying to figure out how to make something, you have to think about what your skills are, what your time is, what your resources are. So if you don't really know how to make it, you can always buy one and paint it. That's what I'm going to do for Boba Fett. I'm buying the Ruby's helmet. I'm going to give it a great paint job. There are patterns you can buy to make it out of foam. So you get foam. You can just use like a yoga mat or a floor mat, and then cut the pieces from the pattern and glue it all together into like a dome. That works great too. That's how I made my Mighty Thor helmet. Um, I've bought vacuum formed kits. I've 3D printed it. There's a great guy, Epic Cardboard Props, on YouTube that makes all of his things out of cardboard, out of Amazon boxes, which is, 100% free. You can go to the outside any liquor store. They have boxes piled up and get cardboard for free. So start researching different ways to do it. There's no one way to do it. There's many different ways. And it all just depends on your time, your budget, what materials are available to you. Oh, how kind. Was really hoping for a Bills Eagles Super Bowl last season. I was too. But I'm excited tonight. We're going to get the NFL schedule. So that's going to be sort of a fun thing. I'm going to be watching on the NFL Network. We're going to make a little get together out of it, put a Bill shirt on, the whole thing. I know it's silly. Like back in the day, they just released a schedule. It wasn't like a whole thing. But I like it. It's just something fun to get excited about and looking forward to. And then you can start planning your fall. Like, oh, what games am I going to go to? Are we going to travel again this year to maybe see a game on the road? It's exciting. And the Bills are playing the Eagles at home this season, so we'll get to find out when that is. That's going to be a really fun game. Yeah, New York Comic Con is overwhelming, and it's also hard to find people. And then I can't really, and then you never have a signal, and you can't give updates. But yes, I should try to find a smaller con. Thank you for reminding me. I need to like reach out to some people and work on that. So thank you. I'll take like a couple more questions, and we'll go. What was it like meeting C-3PO? It's funny. I'll be honest. I had seen Anthony Daniels at a distance at a book event pre-COVID. He wrote a book, I Am C-3PO or something, or anyway, I had a friend going to the book signing. So I'm like, oh, that's in my neighborhood. I'll go by. And I remember not being he was sort of, I don't know, busy or tired. I didn't have a great impression of the way he was interacting with fans at that book signing. But at this event, like, listen, everybody has a bad day, right? He was so kind and so sweet and had a lot of energy that made everyone, and kind of fed off everybody too. Like everyone fed off his energy and was happy too. He was really nice. It was a quick moment. He went on stage and introduced himself and did a little bit, and then each table at the dinner got to go up on stage and take a photo with him. So it was cool. He was really nice. It was nice having my previous impression reversed. It was really nice because there's not that many original trilogy actors to kind of out and doing appearances and conventions. I think he was the only one in Japan. I think. So it was nice. It was really really nice to have that impression of him. You inspired my friend to cosplay Scout Troopers. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I love the Scout Trooper. It's just, I mean, who doesn't love a speeder bike? And you can sit down and it's still super cool. It's my favorite. Have I met Mark Hamill before? I have not. The closest I've gotten to Mark Hamill is he actually commented on one of my TikToks once when we were all in lock. When he joined, Mark Hamill joined TikTok, and all the Star Wars fans kind of like, we all freaked out and made videos about it. And he commented on mine, so that was kind of cool. But no, I haven't met him. Um, and then I'll finish with this last question. I'm asked this every single live, and it's awesome. Is that what's my favorite Star Wars character? My favorite Star Wars character, I have to think of it here. My standard answer is Jyn Erso and Chirrut Imwe, both from Rogue One, and then also Leia. But I might have to get some Andor characters to crack the top three because I really like that show. I have to think about my answer. Really like Clea too. I thought she was great, really cool, and I'm glad in this last arc we got to learn more about her. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up. Just want to hop on for a quick live and say hi to everybody. And thank you everyone for your fun questions and your nice comments um, and for sticking around. I'm probably gonna do another live this week. I'll be totally honest. I'm in a program with YouTube, and if you do 3 lives before the 15th, you get a little prize. And I'm very treat motivated. I'm prize motivated. You're gonna give me a prize, I'll do live. So I think I have to do one more tomorrow. So I'll be then chatting more. And this is a Rogue One shirt from Star Wars Celebration Japan. It says Rebel in Japanese. So thanks everyone for being here. I'll try to hop on again tomorrow.